Hello everybody and welcome back to EU4 Mission Tree Only, the series where we look at a nation's mission tree in its entirety without expanding outside of that mission tree. So today we're going to be playing as the nation of Venice, a trade republic, the largest trade republic in the game, and their ideas are pretty decent too. I actually like Genoa's ideas a little bit more, but the Venetian ideas are pretty solid. They get yearly republican tradition, 0.30. Along with all these other legitimacy modifiers and trade steering plus 33%. They get galley combat ability plus 25% once you actually finish their ideas. Naval force limit modifier 25%, ship durability, an additional diplomat, trade efficiency plus 20, yearly corruption and foreign spy detection, national sailors modifier, national unrest, and then dev cost. Now before we get into this video, I do want to encourage you guys, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you want to see more of my mission tree only underrated nations and just general EU4 playthroughs. And if you want to support the channel even more, I do also have memberships available for everybody. Now without further ado, let's get into it as Venice. Alright, so we do start with a decent sized army, about 18,000 troops. We can ally France at the start of the game. We can also ally Austria at the start, which might help us out against the Ottomans a bit more. But I'm thinking we're probably going to end up allying France here. Well, we could probably ally both of these guys actually. In terms of rivals, we're just going to rival some of the nations that rivaled us, such as Byzantium. Oh, the Pope actually rivaled us. That's unfortunate. We'll also rival the nation of Milan, and we will also rival Serbia. In 1.35, all the merchant republics do get access to estates. And to kick off mission tree only, these are the missions that we have to work with, such as monopolizing the Adriatic trade. So we have to have at least 25% or more trade power in Ragusa. This then gives us 100 diplo points and 2 mercantilism. If we build our navy up to 100% of its force limit size and have 60% of our sailors, we do get a really good admiral, and we get Venetian marines until the end of the game. And then it pushes us towards conquering the Greece and these Aegean islands here and getting permanent claims on Constantinople, Cyprus. Meanwhile, this one here, we have to have a high income, at least 32 ducats. Our capital province also has to grow by at least 10 dev, and we get some cheaper stuff here. And we have to have our burghers be super loyal. And this mission here, we have to wait until printing press happens, and the following mission we need to wait until we get universities. And we'll also take out the burgher loans, which I originally was not going to do, but since we're going to have to build up a navy, let's go ahead and take that out. All right, let's also ally Austria finally, which we are over our diplo limit, but I could change that by just simply not guaranteeing either Albania or the Knights, which we do start out with. Also, Venice does get a unique government type called the Venetian government. We get an additional merchant because of it. We get reduced corruption, and I believe our rulers are here until they die. Yes, yeah, there's no elections here. Our doges are always going to be elected for life. Okay, we can complete our first mission, which is this one here, giving us Navy tradition, more Marines until the end of the game, and a really, really good Admiral 2343. Marines, if you're not familiar, they use sailors as opposed to manpower, and they're really, really good at getting onto your ships, disembarking your ships, and also fighting across rivers. So we're going to be using quite a lot of these guys. For our first government reform that we're going to choose, I'm going to take republicanism for the yearly republican tradition, though. Oh, and I can join the HRE, which is maybe not the worst thing in the world. I mean, we are a kingdom, so we would lose one of our diplomats. But it does mean that we could expand into the HRE a little bit faster. You know, honestly, let's just join the HRE. As a merchant republic, when you click on one of your provinces, you can create a trading post in any one of your trade nodes. In our case, we're going to put a trading post here, which is going to boost up our trade power by 10. Because we need to boost up our stuff in Ragusa to at least 25, which now it's at 27. So we can complete this mission here, giving us more Diplo points and to mercantilism. We're on to the mission to conquer Moria, Athens, and these islands from Genoa, which is perfect because Genoa is going to be our first nation that we attack here. We have to control their capital and have at least 50% or more trade power in the Ligurian Sea. Alright, and we are going to attack Genoa for our conquest on both of these islands. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to call in their friend Lucca, which is actually nice because that's another trade port. It looks like Hungary actually went under Austria. Alright, for our tier 3 government reform, we're going to take consolidate power in a doge for the extra gov cap. Alright, we are going to take a naval doctrine here. We get a unique one called Venetian Arsenal, which does give us more ship cannons and cheaper sailor maintenance. However, I'm going to go with the merchant navy one, at least for now. We get more ship trade power. Especially since we own this area here, I want to try and maximize our ship trade power. Alright, so I'm thinking out of this war because this is taking way too long. I'm just gonna, I can only take these two provinces here. I'm gonna have them give us war reps and steer, or no war reps. And we're just gonna have them steer their trade towards us. Also, I'm going to, once these 4K troops land here on the island of Rhodes, I'm going to attack the Ottomans because their entire army is going to be trapped here on this one island. I believe, yeah, the majority of the Ottoman navy is right here. So it should be a really easy war. Alright. Ooh, they did get 10k guys out. It's fine. We'll just go ahead and attack them. We will attack them for Athens. For our first idea group, we're going to be going with... Ooh, I'm thinking either trade or plutocratic ideas here. We're pretty much very, very far ahead in Diplo ideas as of right now. I'm thinking we are going to be doing trade first and foremost. Also, we did just trap an additional Ottoman army here on the island of Corfu. So now Ottomans have 40k troops just trapped on these islands because of our navy. And I will call on Austria just because they're just going to help me siege down everything a lot faster. Alright, and we have completed this mission. Apparently we got our income all the way up to this point. We get 50 mil points and a land force limit and another general. Once we get to 200 dev, we complete this mission. We get cheaper mercenaries. So Austria, since we joined the HRE, we could be like the only nation staying in the HRE and lose 20 prestige, or, you know, really tick off Austria here and leave. But I'm thinking we're going to stay. Just because we are allied to Austria, so there's no reason for us to leave the HRE. Okay, out of this war, we're going to take quite a bit from the Ottomans. We're going to take Constantinople, all this southern stuff, the island of Rhodes, and also Cyprus. Normally in mission tree only, we go one mission at a time. However, pretty much in order, like, complete these missions, you know, we have to own all this and the island of Rhodes. It's going to unlock the mission to take Constantinople in the next one. So doing this unlocks that mission and also unlocks the Cyprus mission. So might as well take it all while we can. So as I mentioned earlier, we can complete this mission, which actually gives us permanent claims on Cyprus and Constantinople. And we can take this, which gives us even cheaper galleys and prestige from naval battles for the rest of the game. This mission right here gives us permanent claims in Egypt, and along with trade efficiency, aggressive expansion impact, and more ship cannons. All right, and we can now complete this mission along with this one here. Once we get 3,000 ducats, we can upgrade our palace, our Doge's palace, by at least one. I guess we don't have to wait as long, and it's technically cheaper than waiting until we get 5,000 ducats. Right, for our second idea group, either plutocratic or even like quality ideas would be good as the Venetians. Though even mercenary ideas are like secretly like one of my favorite idea groups. I mean, I could go with something like economic ideas. And I think we're going to go with quality here. This is going to benefit both our army and our navy, though plutocratic's a good cross between both. All right, I'm thinking we are going to attack the Mamluks here. This could be either really good or really bad. We're going to attack them for Antioch here. We're going to try and take everything down here along with these provinces here. I think we should be able to do it. Let's see what happens if I try to advance my guys here. I hope, really hope there's no Mamluk, like big army waiting for me here. Ooh, there they are. There they are. I'm not. Oh, we did. Yes, we got there in time. Yes. All right, we got 85% war score, meaning that we could take exactly what we want from the Mamluks, including some of their money here. So let's go ahead and do that. And we could complete this mission, which now gives us 20, even more trade power in these areas for the next 15 years. So we'll do that. And really, our next mission is to establish a trade company anywhere along the coast of India, which, considering this is mission tree only, this might be a little bit of a challenge because, you know, obviously we would have to conquer a little bit more just to get province here. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait until we get the colonial range to do so. Also, Scotland has, they straight up inherited Burgundy, so we got Scottish France. And so far, if you guys are curious, in 1492, the Venetian trade node is worth 30 ducats, making it the most valuable trade node, at least in Europe at this time. Okay, I'm thinking we are going to go to war against Milan here. We're going to call on basically all of our allies, except for France here. We're going to take Genoa for ourselves. The reason why I say that, even though it's technically not, but kind of part of our mission tree, we have to own Genoa's capital, which, I mean, Genoa, they're over here in the Crimea. They're more than likely going to be done and dead by the end of this game. However, we also need to have 50% trade power, or 50% or more trade power in the Ligurian Sea. So regardless, you know, let's say Genoa did not exist, we'd probably have to own the province of Genova, I'd imagine, at this point in the game. We're going to do this, and then we'll probably end up going to war against Genoa once we get our trade power in the Ligurian Sea. So this all starts by attacking Milan, so let me just make sure I set that as a province of interest. Okay, and out of this war, I'm going to make Milan give their provinces back to Switzerland, make them release out Parma, and we're going to take Genova for ourselves. And the Protestant Reformation has happened in Hamburg, meaning that our Age of Discovery, and more importantly, our Venetian trade bonus here is coming to an end. Bohemia had to give up all of its claims in Hungary, and now they are under Austria, so good for you, Austria. That's both good and bad for me. So now we actually have a really large trade league of at least like 8 nations right now, and we are making 50 ducats, and it's only 1503. That is disgusting, and our total income's 84 ducats. Alright, after building an additional 20 light ships and putting an admiral on it, I was able to get our trade power up to 55 in the Genoese trade node. This won't be too hard, as we're just going to do a trade dispute with them and call on our friends Austria and Naples, which we'll call on the Ottomans, but they're busy with QQ as of right now, and I could just blockade them across the strait, which I'll just go ahead and move my army here now. And we did just occupy their capital, meaning we could finally complete this mission. Okay, I've also completed this mission here, which just required us to grow by at least 2 states. I stated up Constantinople because I didn't even realize I did not state that up. It's just going to give us permanent claims on pretty much most of northern Italy here. Alright, and we will be going to war against Savoy here. I will call on Naples. They should be able to handle Siena and Florence here for me. And we're going to try and take all the Milanese stuff. We might, if it's too much AE, I might just take one province and do a reconquest war. Just, you know, for Milan as a subject. So let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so yeah, if I were to take this entire area here that we have claims on, we would get a massive coalition. So what I'm going to do is just take the province of Como here. I should have released on Milan first. Actually, no, I'm just gonna have to eat up this AE because I don't want to. It'd just be annoying if I just gave up these two provinces just to integrate them again later. We'll just take the AE. We'll just beast it. Alright, for our third idea group, I'm debating between either innovative and economic ideas. Economic would be nice so we get an extra 5% discipline, though innovative would also be really nice because we get additional trade efficiency and 15% infantry combat ability, which, but I mean, economic is good because of that merchant and the goods produced. So I'm thinking we're going to do economic here. Alright, our truce with Naples is over. So we will be attacking them with the help of France and Switzerland, and we're going to do the excommunicate ruler CB. So this is going to give us like no aid at all. Alright, out of this war, we're taking these three provinces. It's going to be like no aid whatsoever. We're also going to make them return a couple provinces. Well, actually, release out Pisa. Return one province to Florence. And yeah, I think it should really be about it. Now we've completed this mission, which now gives us a permanent claim on the Tyrol area here on Austria. We have to own that entire area. Once we do that, we get a subjugation CB on Austria for the next. Alright, Mr. Pope, welcome as my vassal. As for Urbino, I really don't care. Give me money, pretty much, my dude. And because we have subjugated the Pope, we are getting a permanent -2 Diplo rep. Alright, we are going to attack the city of Trent, which I have a permanent claim on, calling in all of our pals here. Just beating down on Austria, pretty much. See if I can't get them to release out some nations or cancel one of their subjects potentially, but see how this goes. Oh, and now Commonwealth decided that now is the best time to invade the Empire, which I don't blame them, especially since they own this stuff, but they're going to be going after Pomerania here. I think what I'm going to do actually with Austria is I'm just going to white beast them out. Because they're just going to get destroyed by Commonwealth, and that gives us plenty of time to come back in the next couple of years to actually take all the rest of this land that we need from them. So we're just going to take Trent, and that should be it there.
Also, I just noticed something kind of gross, but Commonwealth is actually colonizing in this game. They've made it all the way down to the Cape. Alright, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to charter some companies here. I know, it's not part of their mission tree for Venice, but considering I only get claims over here, and I need to get to India, that's going to be kind of rough. I know alternatively the other option would be to just conquer all of Egypt or just take a couple provinces, but you know, again, that's not within our mission tree, and I know this isn't either, but at least, you know, it kind of goes in line with us having the charter companies. And there we go, I can actually ally the Commonwealth, which is great. Also, I didn't realize we actually have 70 crownlands. I think that's from all the deving I've been doing in my lands. Area over here is super great. I mean, like, it's Italy, so I mean, it's all great for deving because it's like all farmlands and grasslands. But some hills, but it's mainly farmlands. And we did spawn global trade in our capital, which is awesome. So we get a bunch of monarch points, prestige, government progress, and of course, even more local trade power in the province of Venice, our capital. And that's all because our province, or it's all because Venice, the trade node, produces 123 ducats worth of trade, way more than the English Channel and Sevilla. Alright, we can finally get charter a company from Kilwa taking this province between both Portugal and Spain. Okay, and I forgot we can actually complete this mission because we now have universities. So we can do the plague doctrine training, meaning our cities will less likely be struck by plague events. Cool. Alright, I'm thinking, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to no-CB the Maldives over here, and we're going to conquer their island. Set up a trade company here which is part of the India one. And then we're going to use that as a naval base to invade into India. We can also take this, which gives us an additional merchant global trade power and even more money. And we could also complete this mission, which gives us to mercantilism. I also strengthened up my government a bunch of times. After our ruler died, I chose specific doge. And my republican tradition went down, so I could use this to boost up my strength of my government, which gave me 30 absolutism. And I could complete this mission. And once I get enough prestige and government reforms, we can complete this mission here. Alright, here we go, attacking the Manas for any one of these provinces really over here. Hopefully we can win this war. It's going to be kind of rough because we had to do naval invasions, but I mean we do have double their mill tech, so fingers crossed. And screw it, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to bait them across, so we're just going to dogpile over here. Venice has 120,000 troops, which, I mean, I'm 2 techs ahead of them. But that's not even counting Bengal's troops, which is another 100,000. Okay, that's our first battle. I have the better discipline. They have better morale. I got better tactics and, of course, better tech. Alright, they fell into my trap. Now it's time to stack wipe them. Though the Madagascar company didn't do too well. It's 10-year long, well, 11-year long war is finally over. I'm going to be taking pretty much all of southern India here, because the next mission requires us to be the dominant trade power in like all the Indian trade nodes. So we're just going to take these, and yeah, so we have 17 cities. We only need 10. We are the strongest trade power in the Comorian Cape. Now we just need to be the strongest one in the Ganges and the Straits of Johor, which are the Gujarat and Bengal trade nodes. Alright, for our last government reform, I'm just going to do strengthen executive powers for more absolutism. And now we can complete this mission by having 95 Republican tradition, 95 prestige, less corruption than 1, and all of our government reforms are done. So what I'm going to do next is finish up this mission, and then we're going to go for the subjugation of Austria to end off this video. And you know what? I'm a doofus. So we have to be the strongest trade power in Coromandel, which is this one here. We also have to be the strongest trade power in Bengal and the strongest trade power in Malacca. Alright, I'm going to buy this one island from Malacca here. Let me reduce this down a bit. I don't want to give them all my money. Buy that island there. We're going to set up a trade company and a trade post over here. There's a little bit more trade here, and we're going to send out like 100 light ships. Just so that way we can hopefully become the strongest trade power over here. We have 8% right now. Let's see, after the tick of the month. We jumped up to 42%. Yeah, we just immediately became the strongest trade power in this node. Something like 60 ducats up here. Which means we could finally complete this mission, which gives us more trade range and merchant trade power plus 10 for the next 15 years. This one isn't really my favorite. You were pushing like 100 ducats out Coromandel into Gulf of Aden, which, I mean, Genoa and Portugal, they're doing their thing. Obviously, I could probably, I mean, I have these 40 light ships. I could send them there if I wanted to, like, really make the most out of my money here. I want to buy this island from you, Mahara. How much? No? Actually, let's buy this one from Ajuran. Just so we the trade port. Might as well. Just by moving a merchant over here, I'm making even more money. I just gained 100 ducats. Our trade notes were 248 ducats because I'm pushing so much money out of Alexandria. I'm going to take the subjugation on Austria CB now, and we are going to go ahead and attack Austria with our subjugation CB, call in the Commonwealth, call in France. That's going to call in Spain and Britain, Tyrol, Würzburg, and Scilly. So I think we got this, just because Britain normally doesn't really help out here. So let's get into it. Scandinavia has also formed in our game, which was formed by Sweden, so that's kind of cool. I've been noticing in a lot of our games, at least as of late, Scandinavia has been forming in every one of our games. Also, our boy Bahman has formed Deccan, is after seeing that our color was a little bit too similar to theirs, they said, you know what, we're going to be different, we're going to form Deccan. Troops are actually like better than the Spanish ones, but I'm fighting them in the mountains here. But luckily France is going to get here in time, and we're going to win this battle. Alright, we can get Spain out of here, giving us even more war score. So now we just have to deal with Würzburg, who's almost peaced out because my subjects are sieging them down, and Great Britain, who we might be able to peace out soon. Oh, look at that, France actually landed here in England, or Britain. We're about to start sieging down London ourselves. Alright, and we got 100% war score, meaning that we can now subjugate Austria. There we go. And now we can complete our final mission, which is destroy Austria, giving us a permanent diplo relation slot and unjustified demands till the end of the game. So that is going to conclude it for today's episode of Mission Tree Only as Venice. As you guys can see, we have completed the entire mission tree. This one took a little bit longer because we had to wait until like Age Absolutism to do pretty much the back end of this mission tree. Certain things like the Mythical Realm one or the Future of Trade, obviously, you know, I only get permanent claims in these areas here, so I kind of had to improvise. And because, you know, this requires charter companies and all that stuff, it worked out in the end. You know, I had to kind of go off the mission, off the trail here, purchase a couple provinces just to get to India, because we don't get the permanent claims, and then yeah, just conquer some like 17 provinces over here. We're the dominant trade power in Coromandel, in Bengal, and also Malacca. We're pushing so much money out of these areas all the way up into Alexandria and into our trade node of Venice, which is giving us 237 ducats. We are the 6th greatest power, but you know, if I were let this month tick, we would become the 5th greatest power because we did just subjugate Austria. Overall though, the Venetian mission tree is a pretty solid one. Some of these missions I don't really care for, like the Plague Doctor training one, but most of their missions are pretty good. It's a different kind of play style where most mission trees expect you to conquer a ton of stuff. However, this one is more about focusing on playing tall with your government and basically trying to divert as much trade to the Mediterranean as possible. Again, just a little bit different than usual. It's not just conquer. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what nation you would like to see for next week on Mission Tree Only. I'm thinking, you know, I'll probably put up a poll, but I think we might be we've had a few nations now in Europe. Maybe we'll shift over here to Africa, or maybe even in India next. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what nation you would like to see next, and I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.